beautiful.
Welcome back to Making Ends Meet.
Welcome back, baby.
Few beers in.
We're a few beers in. We're a few hours in. We don't have a topic.
Should we call this the tipsy episode?
The tipsy episode. Oh no, I think we've been drunker. What in season? Oh no, in one of the lost episodes because they're lost now. When we were in your garden,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was.
those they were terrible.
That was
but
a mess.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And
that-
heist. Long live
Oh,
heist.
heist for sure. You two were wankered. Callum wasn't on
I
that.
wish we found that.
Yeah, so this is another episode of Making Ends Meet. We don't have a topic.
Well, our original topic was going to be corporate.
It was going to be big
evils.
evil corporations.
We
but,
could still broadly.
Isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I use it as a conversation piece.
Yeah, we could, but if you see an episode title of big corporations in the future, it's because we've done some research and actually done an episode on it, as opposed to just.
I don't like Google because they don't pay tax.
Oh wow.
Well, neither does Lewis Hamilton and neither does the Queen. So, oh my favorite thing about that, my favorite thing about that.
Doesn't have to pay tax.
No, but exactly, no. But at the same time, the royal family invested in overseas McDonald's. Do you remember that?
No.
When was this?
I will fucking find this for you. The royal family.
The Queen doesn't pay tax because she pays
She would pay it to-
Parliament.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
rent off all of her land, which is.
But they
basically all of Scotland.
hang on. Let me have this. I'm
Yeah,
genuinely
in
googling
exchange
Queen
for
McDonald.
things. But anyway, my first awful corporation is definitely gonna go to Nestle.
Go on, go for it.
Nestle's.
Nestle's a fucking evil place. Man.
What do they do?
Well, apart from making delicious Kit Kats.
Delicious.
delicious Kit Kats. They've got a lot of controversies throughout their time. Their most evil one was that I've heard of is basically the Nestle baby formula. So in basically third world countries, what they do is they'd give out samples like drug dealers, amazingly, for the baby formulas, yeah, and they'd give it to young mothers, right, to use, and when their milk dried up because they haven't been producing milk or breastfeeding, they would then be forced to use Nestle formula for full price.
Hold up, what? So
Yeah.
Nestle were giving out samples that dried up people's...
No. So they were giving out baby formula, yeah. So if you're a mother, yeah, you're newborn, titty milk, yeah. Titty milk's great for you, and it's natural, isn't it? So once you, basically what they were doing is once you stop like actually breastfeeding a child, innit, your sort of your reservoirs dry up, if you will, yeah. So what they were doing was giving this baby formula out to these mums, so they weren't breastfeeding. Without any education, they were telling them, yeah, it's fine. You can use this. It won't affect your child. And then they were actually, basically, when they stopped breastfeeding, their milk dried up, and they were relied on Nestle to feed their children, and they would charge exorbitant amounts.
Holy
then
shit!
for thing, yeah, it was a massive thing in the 80s, I believe it was.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It was. It's evil, mate. It's actually evil.
That's fucked.
It really is. It's like a dystopian future kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
capitalism gone mad, man. I'm all for capitalism because literally it builds everything we enjoy in the world. But
Yeah, but
there's gotta
it's
be
at the same time.
limitations.
Exactly. Yeah.
and protection for the individual.
Just like
Nestle involved in slave labour as well.
probably
mate, hang
everyone
on.
is.
Where there was free labour.
There we go.
Yeah, there's forced labour in the Thai fishing industry. So Nestle aren't just chocolate. They own
Yeah.
they are one of the largest food conglomerates in the world. So they own everything from cat food to baby formula to
Yeah.
Kit Kats
Bottled
to
water, chocolate.
exactly. Yeah. So there's a cat food called Purina that's owned by or Purina. Great corporate marketing. By Nestle. That basically they used food or fish from Cambodia, where they essentially import workers and force them to pay off their debt by working in fishing boats.
So
Mate,
it's
Nestle's a
slavery.
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially it's
Fucking
modern
ridiculous.
slavery.
Yeah.
Like, I've got an article up here, which is so the CEO of the Freedom Fund said, quote, "If you've got one of the biggest brands in the world proactively coming out and admitting they've found slavery in their business operations, then it's potentially a game changer and could lead to a real and sustained change in how supply chains are managed." However,
When was that written?
I've got the source here. If you forgive the internet, it's a thing from
The internet's terrible because
2016.
there we go. So what? 3.5 years down the line, and it's still happening, presumably.
Yeah.
I was going to
Actually,
say.
it's almost 4 years to the day.
Oh well, there we
February
go.
1st.
There we go. Like, well, it's over 4 years then. I was going to say our internet is terrible, so our research isn't going to go well because we have 2 laptops researching, and I'm watching a football match. So really, it's my fault.
Football. How about we talk about the Qatar?
Yeah. FIFA and the Qatar 2020 World Cup. We can talk about that if you want, Steve. And basically, World Cup used to be a good football competition where you'd go and see who's the best team in the world win a trophy. Not when Qatar decided, we'll pay FIFA off to make it look like our country's going to, be a modern, progressive.
When did this happen?
So they do World Cup bids years in advance, right?
Yeah.
So announced around the same time, right, Steve? Was Russia 2018
Yes.
and Qatar 2022.
Also, if anyone hasn't watched the documentary called Icarus,
Yes.
fantastic documentary.
Yep.
And it shows basically Russian state doping.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Yeah.
And you caught me mid-swig.
Meat.
I thought you were going to go on longer with that. I thought I had time to drink. So basically, FIFA before they've had basically a load of reformations now, and there are new people in charge to try and root out the corruption. But you could fucking bribe FIFA for whatever if you had the money.
Oh
The
yeah.
previous
They proved that.
Exactly. The previous head of FIFA, Sepp Blatter, was corrupt as it comes. My favourite thing about Sepp Blatter's time in charge of FIFA, he was accused of racism. Came out a couple of days after the reports. I'm not racist. Look at this. He's my black friend. Took a picture next to this random black man he'd met.
Oh no.
Literally, less than a month later, he was vice president of FIFA. Just because Sepp Blatter didn't want to seem racist.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's the lengths this man will go to. So for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, they had none of the state. Usually, one of the main points of bidding for a World Cup is you have the stadiums ready built or the infrastructure to build those stadiums. The Qataris paid them off to host the World Cup. No stadiums built, didn't have the infrastructure. They've used slave labor. So many people have.
In like 2014.
Yeah, so many people have died building these stadiums, and they're still. Yep, and they're trying to palm it off. They're trying to cover it up. They're saying they're accidents.
Do you know how they do it? There's a system in these like Gulf countries, basically, where they get recruiters in poorer areas, such as like Bangladesh, Pakistan, and
Shout out to my homeboys in Bangladesh.
and like obviously,
Boy. If anyone's listening in Bangladesh, my family probably knows you.
mate, it's a big place, mate. It's a big place.
I have a big mate. I have a fucking huge family. Trust.
Couple mils though.
Couple mils, couple bees, yeah?
So what they do is they get these recruiters to go over to these poorer countries, and obviously these workers can't afford to travel on their own, basically. So what they do is they fund the travel, and they say, okay, we'll give you a loan to pay for your passage, passport, visa, okay? So they give them all this money, and they spend it on traveling over to the country to work, and once they're there, they charge interest on that loan at a rate in which they can't pay back because the working conditions and the actual pay is too low. Yeah. So they're in, like, essentially they're in infinite servitude because they're constant. It's called debt slavery. If anyone's heard of that.
Still about Qatar,
Yeah. It's what they do. So they import workers from abroad to do this.
It's the same with Saudi Arabia.
To be fair, saying that about Apple too, with when Cal, you were saying about Apple is that they've recently been sued for slowing down old phones. Yeah. So they've actually been
implementing software.
Yeah, so like a software update that comes through, and then it'll slow down the phone. So you think, oh fuck, my phone's not working anymore. Then you go back out and you buy a whole new one, and it's
That's a grand.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
they do it on purpose. Because they claim to do it to preserve the life of the phone, and because with all the
bullshit.
updates, it is
Absolute
bullshit. They
yeah.
just do it to make you buy a new phone.
Saying that, I got an
Apple intercepts any like components you try to bring into the. Oh, fuck. What's the word?
oh, you import.
Any components you try to import. There was a guy who like tried to get 30 Apple batteries into the country just so he could like make it cheaper for people to repair.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of lawsuits going on. There's a
Yeah.
lot of lawsuits going on right now in Europe
shit.
called
Around something called the right to repair.
Yeah.
So small repair shops, you've probably got one on your street. Like if you live in a city, they basically they repair Apple products or any sort of product really. But Apple essentially make it really difficult for these sort of places to operate. So if you look at the bottom of your Apple product, if you've got a MacBook, you can have a look at your screws. They're a different shape to any other screw in the world. And you can only buy the screwdriver off basically dodgy sites who have because Apple don't supply them to third party.
Well, that's the whole reason for the whole fucking
It's
charge.
monopoly,
It's
man.
the
It's
charger
monopoly.
change every single time as well. Every time they change it, you can't justify having a different charger for all of these phones in such a short space of time. Because if you're talking about like battery technology as well, it's not moving that fast. Not to the point where you need a new charger every single time a phone comes out, every single year as well. Do you know what I mean? Like USB-C was used for ages.
Yeah.
All the way through Androids, and now it's swapped over, but it's only recently changed. And then now it's still something that's universally used, whereas Apple will constantly make just adaptations that only fit for Apple products. Yeah.
absolutely.
My MacBook's on USB.
It's a monopoly, isn't it?
It's the idea that you can buy something, but it's not yours.
Yeah.
It's owned and it's controlled or regulated by Apple. It's not your product. You're just
But
merely a
then
consumer.
That's
Yeah.
the question of the ecosystem.
No,
But it's not, because like
You've
if
got
you
an
buy
iPhone,
something,
you should
have
be
a
able
Mac.
to own it. You should be able to do
Yeah.
whatever you want to it.
You should indeed.
Whereas Apple makes it incredibly difficult to do stuff like this.
Well-
Have you ever been to the market and jailbreaked your iPhone or?
Well, exactly,
I
because
haven't, but, like,
Yeah.
I know it's
you
available.
used to be able to without any really repercussions because it was not really as well known as it is now. But now they will shut down all service. So if something does go wrong with your phone and you have jailbroken it, no, they won't do anything for you.
Yeah. They cut things off, and it's the same with that's why they do the warranty differences. So like if I have an iPad or a Mac or whatever it is, I take it apart and I try and fix it myself, and I think, well, fuck, I don't want to pay all this money to fix it, so I'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work, then I'll take it to the shop. You then take it to the shop, and they can see that all of the stickers that were there originally have been removed from where you've taken it apart. So then from there, your warranty is null and void.
Yeah, they do the same thing with the PlayStation. I was trying to take apart mine because some stuff had got in some fans. I wanted to clean it out,
Yeah.
and there's a sticker on the back on some of these that block some screws. So if you want to unscrew it, you have to take the sticker off,
yeah,
and then
which
the warranty's
means
void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing Apple do.
Little blue tab at the bottom of your phone that
Well, you know-
detects water.
Yeah.
You know those things get actually in humid areas. They actually get triggered just by being out. So in like places in like Louisiana, where it's quite swampy, humid, like they get triggered from just being out of an air conditioned room, which is crazy because that basically voids your warranty. It's at the end
Plus,
of the day,
you can't charge it either. Like, because with it's the same with my phone. Like, if I have any moisture in it, it'll set it off, and then I can't touch it whatsoever for hours
Yeah.
until I can dry it out.
Yeah.
Or if it just stops doing the error code.
Yeah.
I found another company that I remembered from my my studies in university.
Go for it.
Has anyone heard of Chiquita?
No, I have not.
Well, you should do because has anyone bought a piece of fruit recently?
Yes, bananas.
Bananas.
Well, bananas is one of their best ones. Has anyone like bought a banana yet?
Let's
It's
wait.
alright. It's alright. Oh, it's gone. All right.
Continue.
So, like Chiquita, essentially, if you've bought a piece of fruit,
You've probably bought from Chiquita.
Yeah.
So if you look at your stickers next time you go on to the supermarket and buy a piece of fruit, if it's a lady with a fruit basket on her head, that's Chiquita.
Is that horribly racist?
It's not horribly racist, but
Is it slightly
it's a rebrand of something called the United Fruit Company,
Right.
which operated as basically a shell corporation for the CIA in Guatemala.
Oh, right.
And it essentially lobbied the U.S. government to invade Guatemala to stop land reform, because the corporation actually was making so much money from owning this land and producing. I think there was a ridiculous statistic, like it was like 80% of the labor force in Guatemala was employed by United Fruit Company. So they had a lot of land, a lot of workforce. Essentially, a socialist government came in Guatemala in the 60s or the 50s.
Yeah.
And tried to do land reform. And they lobbied the US government to invade and stop these policies. And there was a coup d'etat, which overthrew the government with the backing of the CIA and dissolved the country into 36 years of civil war.
Oh, shit.
Which cost the lives of 250,000 people. Mate, and they are still operating today.
There's no responsibility for companies like that, though. There's no stopping them because it's money.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, has anyone heard of Bayer?
Bayer?
Bayer.
Oh, yeah. Bayer, who own the football team, Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same company.
Yeah. Who made the aspirin?
Yeah.
Who made, I believe, possibly Viagra? I don't know. No, that was probably Americans. I don't know.
That was probably American.
But Bayer actually had laboratories in Auschwitz.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Bayer's crazy. It's basically their CEO, who was operating during the time of World War II, got imprisoned for war crimes for about 7 or 8 years. He came out and resumed his position as CEO.
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, it's the same with Volkswagen, though, because Volkswagen made cars for Nazi regime as well.
There's a difference from
The
being
VW
a
Beetle.
vehicle.
The VW Beetle was Hitler's car.
Yeah, but there's a difference from like being a vehicle provider to literally experimenting on like concentration camp.
And the fruits of his labour, Bayer Leverkusen, are currently 6 points off the top of the Bundesliga in 5th place.
There's